And we are on. Welcome. Nice. Thanks for tuning in. We had a little preliminary discussion about the Lord of the Rings. Um, Everyone loves Lord of the Rings here, so happy to report that. But go ahead,
Yeah.
Ruthie.
I haven't gotten around to watch the Alien these past 2 days, so I mean, if you guys want to still talk about it, and I'm all ears, and
Yeah,
I'll bring
so
it into my watching.
that
So
was
up to you
actually
guys.
something that I was going to ask you as well when we got to it. Was are you are you okay with getting spoiled about it, or if
I'm okay with
it's up
spoilers.
to you as well, though. You can leave for like 20 minutes or whatever, however long it's going to take us to go through the tier list, and we'll talk Alien. And then when we're done, I'll send you a message and you can come back.
Okay,
Either way is fine.
that's yeah. Well, we
Um,
can do that then,
okay.
and then I'll
So
have a more thorough watch, right? More clean first
yeah,
watch.
you won't watch the three that you haven't seen back to back to back.
What's
Exactly.
funny is if it was
Exactly.
any of the last three before this movie, we wouldn't have given a shit about spoiling it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Christ.
it
Man.
it's one that's worth the watch, Brophy.
I'm sure.
Yes. The highs in this franchise are far greater
Extremely
than
high.
the lows, in my opinion. And
I
Agreed.
thus
believe you
worthwhile.
guys.
But yeah.
Let's go. Royals beat the Angels.
Yeah.
Johnny
Before
Cueto
we.
loses his first start of 2024.
Yeah. Okay. What else? What else is happening in sports?
Well, I did my power rankings. I don't know if you guys saw that.
I did not.
I did, but I didn't
wanna go over
comment.
that?
Would you like? Yeah. Go ahead.
You want to go over it now?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Fuck.
Well, you you want to say
You
something,
good?
Jacob?
Sorry, the Twins beat the shit out of the Padres.
Yeah. You need
You
the
have
Twins
money
to
on it or
lose.
something?
No. Twins are in the
No,
same division.
they're ahead of us in the division.
Ah.
All right, carry on, Rufy. Tell us your power rankings.
All right, I'll go by division because how I did this was I ranked the teams within the divisions, and then I proceeded to rank them 32-1. All right.
Okay.
All right. Beautiful. So I'll go AFC first. All right. So bear with me. AFC North. I'll always say from 4-1. All right. So AFC North goes Steelers, Browns, Bengals, and Ravens. AFC South goes Colts, Titans, Jaguars, and Texans. I was really close to putting Titans second, Jaguars third. I'm a little higher, I'm a little high on the Texans and I'm a little low on the Jaguars, but still objectively, but Jaguars 2, Titans 3. And Colts at 4 sucks because I think they'll be decent.
Yeah.
AFC East, I put Patriots, Bills, Jets, Dolphins. Bills 3 because I mean Milano and I'm not sure about the receiver room, but obviously they could be a lot better than this. I actually have them very near the top 10 in the rankings. I mean, Bills could be a lot better, obviously, and Jets are healthy, so I'm high on them.
Absolutely.
So I mean that's such a tough division. AFC as a whole is so tough.
Yeah.
I was about
AFC
to bring that up.
Three of the four
AFC
divisions are up
as a
for
whole.
grabs.
Yeah, AFC West, I put Broncos, Chargers, Raiders, and Chiefs. Beautiful.
Broncos, Chargers, Raiders, Chiefs. Yeah. I mean, I would probably have Chargers above Raiders, to be honest with you, just because Herbert's that much better than Gardner Minshew
That's fair.
and coaching.
And yeah, it's probably fair. I
Yeah.
just love the Christian Wilkins edition and Crosby. That's something the Chargers don't have, for instance.
Well, the Chargers
I thought
roster
about
Yeah,
that
but
as
the
well.
Raiders also
overall
don't
is
have the
pretty.
best offensive tackle duo in football.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Their tackle duo is really good.
Yeah. I agree. So we are going through AFC first, and then we'll
Yeah.
and
So
talk about
now
NFC.
I'll get to NFC now. Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say, do you want to discuss AFC real quick, or do you want to just go on
I
to
mean, it's pretty much what I said as I ran through it. So I mean, Ravens 1, Bengals 2. Um, I think Ravens have a more complete roster. Um, I just like their
disagree.
style of play more. I mean, obviously the Bengals are super good, and we've seen what they can do. And I actually have them 7th in the power ranking. So I mean, I don't really have to say much more about that. It's just a really tough division. And
Fair enough.
Steelers, I think they're just definitely below the other 3.
How
I don't have
long does
to-
Tomlin stay the Steelers head coach?
I listen. the addition of Arthur Smith was very questionable, right? And he keeps staying because he keeps going above 500, but it gets to a point where you're just like,
A Super Bowl would be nice.
yeah. I mean, I'm a Dolphins fan. I can't speak much on playoff wins, but I mean, like a guy like Tomlin, you'd expect a little more at this point, right?
Right.
So I don't know. I think that if he goes 2 more seasons being mediocre, that's the most he has. I think 2 more seasons being
I
mediocre.
I absolutely agree.
I think that's the most. I think.
Moving on to the NFC.
Well, you know what?
NFC,
Hold on
yeah.
a second here. I think Tomlin.
Oh
I'm
my
just
God.
kidding.
No, okay.
No, I do think
Race
Tomlin.
war.
I'm not a big Tomlin guy. I think he's a very good coach, very capable coach. But I think a lot of time what you see with his teams is that he coaches a lot of individuals over actual team members. And I think that, again, historically has shown, through all the big personalities and all the drama that usually occurs in Pittsburgh. I'm not big on that. I also don't care really. A lot of people take stock in he's never had a losing team. I don't really care about that.
Alexa,
Yeah, it's nice to be
turn on
consistent in a way, but to not have any kind of success outside of that, I think is, there's no goodness in being consistently mediocre.
No, I agree.
And then,
Completely agree.
yeah, I mean, as far as timetables
It's
are
like
concerned, I'm not
this
sure.
one question. It's like this one question I saw on Twitter, right? Saying something. It was directed to Dolphins fans, but this really applies to any fan base. It was like, Dolphins fans, would you rather in the next 10 years have one playoff win a year or win a Super Bowl and then be sub 500 on the other 9 years? Like, I mean, this is not even a question. I mean, like, why are you even asking this? I mean, like, obviously, like, well, why are you even asking this? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
just look at the Rams. I mean, obviously the Rams are decent still, but get the
Well, just
idea.
look at the Saints. I've been fucking miserable for the last 10 years, and we've been consistently winning. Doesn't fucking matter to me. We can't get it done.
Yep.
You did get it done
It's a
before,
technical-
right? But
Huh?
Yeah,
you
but
did get it done before.
that was
that.
15 years
That
ago
was-
under a totally different coaching
Yeah,
regime.
yeah. I agree. No, I agree.
I was saying I've seen both of them, and I can tell you 2009 was more enjoyable than the last 10 years of being disappointing in the playoffs.
fair enough. Any other thoughts in the AFC? Oh, I do want to touch on the Tua and Brian Flores thing later. I don't know if you guys seen that, but
I did see
I do
that.
want to. Did you see it, Anthony?
I saw it. I don't know much about it, so if you could enlighten me and the audience, that'd be great.
So, Tua made an interview, and he was asked the question, "How was your time with Brian Flores?" And I mean, he just didn't really hold back. I mean, every Dolphins fan and anyone who follows the Dolphins know the troublesome relationship that Flores and Tua had in Miami. You can just see Flores yelling at Tua on the sideline, and like every other game, and you could just tell it wasn't healthy. You never really saw Tua happy in training camps and whatever the case. Multiple reports, right, of Dolphins looking to trade for a quarterback before it, et cetera, et cetera. So when he was asked this question, he basically said something along the lines of, "Imagine you go to work every day, and you're told that you suck at what you do, that you shouldn't be there, that you didn't earn this, that you shouldn't be the guy to be playing there, et cetera, et cetera." So he said exactly those things.
Right.
So I mean, you just get the idea that one, Flores didn't want to draft him, and he was vetoed by Chris Greer. Greer's always given Tua his support, and so that's basically what Tua said. He just didn't have the motivation to play. He thought that he sucked at playing quarterback under Flores because of what he went through, et cetera, et
I
cetera.
mean, can you blame Flores? I mean, I wouldn't have wanted to draft Tua either that year.
I mean, that's not even the point though. Like, he is your guy.
No, I'm just fucking around.
He is your guy, and besides, I mean, look at the success Tua is having. Regardless, that's a franchise quarterback. You know what I mean? Like, you can most definitely work with that. You know
If
what I
he
mean?
can win
didn't.
the division and play home field in the playoffs.
But I mean, regardless, Flores didn't even bring that out of him. He just
Oh, no.
like, told him that he sucked.
Flores
That
should
was
never be a head coach again.
I mean, he just doesn't have good people skills, and that's what it came down to.
Yep.
And then to follow He said he was asked, or it was a question, I'm not sure, and how was his relationship? He basically said, I feel confident, I feel like I can do this, et cetera, et cetera. McDaniel always giving me support and whatnot. So, um, basically, what he meant to say is you have to know how to deal with people, and Flores just didn't know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I think that McDaniel is a great head coach, especially as far as like a player motivator. He is absolutely one of the best.
he creates good relationships. He's a good tactician, right? Flores was a good tactician. Flores is a great coordinator, but it takes more than that.
Yeah. Flores, the way if we're looking at this from like an office perspective, Flores would make a great accountant, but would not want him to be talking to customers.
There you go. There you go. Perfect.
Alrighty, on to the NFC.
NFC. Yeah, again, NFC North. 4 Vikings, 3 Bears, 2 Packers, 1 Lions. I don't think there's much to discuss. Maybe
Packers
if you're really
are
high on the
definitely winning that
Packers.
division, dude.
Yeah, and you're a Packers homer.
How is that a homer take?
You've always been a Packers homer.
Nope, only since Jordan Love became the starter last year.
Ooh.
I apologize.
Yeah.
Don't apologize.
I'll
Push
tell you
back.
this, though. Wicks is him.
If it wasn't
I'll
for
say
Jordan
this.
Love, my quarterback takes would be cooked.
Listen, never forget Zach Wilson was QB1 of his draft.
In my rankings, yes. However, I had Jordan Love as my second best quarterback in that class, and I think it'll pan out. So,
Fair
NFC
enough.
South. You're very much New Orleans Saints at 4. The Carolina
that's
Panthers. The Panthers at 3, Bucks 2, Falcons 1.
I think
Do you
that's
agree
the
with that?
objective best way to rank it right now.
I just it's so hard for me to put the Saints 3, dog. Obviously the Panthers last year, but if I were to predict next year, and that's what I'm doing here, I can't put the Saints above the Panthers.
Oh no, I'm agreeing with you. I think the Saints are the worst
I know,
team in
but
that.
I'm just saying, like, I thought about this. It wasn't that easy for me. But
Great.
now
I'm
it
glad
is.
you thought long and hard of how you could possibly put the Saints at 3, and you just couldn't come to the conclusion that
I
they would
just
ever
couldn't.
be there.
I just couldn't. I tried to convince myself.
0%
The
chance.
Absolutely not. The NFC East,
Yeah.
and let me say this before I talk about the NFC East. I am tired of this division, bro. I am tired of this division. Every year, bro. Every year, it's people talking about this division. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it.
Base.
There's 3 mid teams and 1 team that did absolutely nothing last year. I'm sick of it. But
I can't wait to watch Washington, though. Washington should
yes,
be
I was
fun.
just about to say this. I'm excited to watch Washington, but
You're
other
picking
than
them to
that,
win the division?
no, I am not. I have
You're just
Giants
a fucking
4.
poser.
I apologize. I have Giants 4, Commanders 3, Cowboys 2, and Eagles 1.
I also think that's the Cowboys division. So
I thought
I disagree with you.
Clearly just aren't familiar with the NFC East curse, man. Like, I just don't.
You're
get it.
right. I apologize. Yep. I apologize.
I know,
You
I know.
should
Same
apologize.
team doesn't
Jacob
win
should
division.
apologize.
Yeah, same team doesn't win the division each
That is
year.
true.
I know,
That
or
is
back-to-back
true.
years. I
That
know.
is true.
Yeah,
That is
yep.
true. But maybe.
So that's why it's going to be Washington this year.
I hope
Yeah,
so. I really
Daniel
hope so.
Jones and the Giants. They're gonna pull it out. They've looked
Dude, I swear to
absolutely
God,
horrible.
Speaking of Daniel Jones, preseason games don't mean shit. But if your starting quarterback is throwing 2 picks in the preseason, I don't know,
I
man.
mean,
Let's not act like C.J. Stroud didn't do that last year.
Listen, we know who Daniel Jones is. Okay.
that's exactly what I was about to say. We know who this guy is, and it's a fucking fraud. He's committed theft against the New York Giants. I don't know who the fuck agreed
Yes.
to that
Yes.
contract, but that is asinine and criminal.
Speaking of that contract, Jamar Chase came out and said he wants 4 years, 160 million. My immediate reaction was, "Oh, he wants that Danny Dimes money."
Yeah.
By the way, that's crazy. By the way,
Right?
That's
Yeah.
some crazy money. Anyways,
Receivers are already grossly overvalued on the market, in my opinion. Most teams,
Oh, for sure.
most teams house.
Especially when you can draft them.
Yeah, and most teams have 3 of them on the field every play anyway. So it's like, how
Right.
much is one? obviously a generational talent's a generation talent, but man, some of these guys are just getting so much fucking money.
Lamar hasn't even lived up to that. He's been great. He's been really fucking good, but he hasn't been the best receiver in the league like we expected him to be out of college.
Yeah.
So, question: do you think the Cowboys should pay CD what he wants?
So
Purely,
the Cowboys have to pay.
Sorry, go ahead.
The Cowboys have to pay Dak, CD, and Micah. I think they should be prioritizing Micah,
100%.
then CD, then Dak.
100%.
I think Dak should be lesser priority to pay than CD.
I don't think Dak should be paid at all. But I think they should draft another guy next year.
If you think that Tua is deserving of the contract that he got, but Dak isn't deserving of a contract, I think you're objectively mistaken.
No. I'm not talking contract. I'm talking age and results. Dak has had more time than Tua. 32.
What I think happens genuinely, could happen, is you're absolutely right on that. Parsons and Lamb are going to get paid, and Dak is going to go, and he's going to go sign with the Raiders because the Raiders probably won't have a high enough pick to take one of the top QBs in this class. It's not a strong class anyway, at least so far. It looks like that.
Which is exactly why the Saints are going to have the number 1 pick because it's.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So that's what's going to happen, and then the Cowboys are going to roll with Trey Lance.
Oh my God.
Dude, did you see that preseason performance, Rufy? He's him.
Hey.
It's going to happen.
Hey.
Just watch.
Guess who's back? Back again. Trey Lance is back. Tell love.
I still have the NFC West.
Tell us how the Niners are winning the division.
Winning the division, and the Cardinals are 4th, Seahawks are 3rd, and Rams are 2nd.
You're not buying into the Cardinals.
Not over the Seahawks.
Off season. See, I don't know, man. I think Geno could regress even more.
I think they have a great supporting cast in the offense as compared to the Cardinals. I mean, I can't, like, you know how I am with rookies. I'm not gonna put too much stock on Marvin Harrison. I don't like running offenses.
I do think it's a bit of a weird year to go into because I think that both the Seahawks and Titans upgraded by getting rid of Pete Carroll and
yeah.
But why can't I think of Mike? Oh, Mike Vrabel.
Yeah.
I think that's really weird that the 2 legendary coaches are gone. Well, not legendary in Mike Vrabel's case, but like 2 legendary coaches are gone, and we're looking at improvements. So I wouldn't disagree with the Seahawks being higher or lower, to be honest with you.
I mean, I love what the Seahawks are doing. I think they have great talent on defense. I love their secondary. So, and on the Cardinals, I think they're still lacking talent. I think Kyler being healthy is what's holding them, and I think Kyler is him, and he can do something there. And I do like James Conner, super underrated. So I definitely am higher on the Cardinals than I was before in the offseason, but not there yet, I think. One more year for them, I think.
The NFC West for me, as far as second place race is concerned, it's kind of a clusterfuck of a question, as in what's going to go wrong first, in my opinion. So with the Rams, you have the question of life without Aaron Donald on the defensive line. They did add through the draft, but we don't know about the instant impact. The secondary also looks very suspect. The other thing as well that not a lot of people are bringing up because I don't think people are expecting it, but we could see some regression because of age from Matthew Stafford. It's already the case that he's pretty immobile. He has to be a pure pocket presence. So he could get injured, for example, but I'm not predicting injury. But I think there could be a general regression as well, is my point. And then with the Seahawks, you have a team that didn't play quite as well as everyone expected them to last season, and some of the reasons why was coaching. They improved that. Some of the other reasons, like players like Geno Smith, kind of regressed, from what they were 2 seasons ago. But I think
why was JSN not on the field?
Yeah, I think roster wise and coaching wise, they're really primed for a pretty solid season, but the question of what's going to go wrong is, for them, it's the offense. It's Geno Smith as well, the big quarterback problem.
Yeah.
The Cardinals, is it again very similar thing. Is Kyler Murray the guy? You know, we like to think that he is because he has a lot of talent in him, and we've seen it on the field before. And then, but the other aspect of it too is that whole defense. That defense is not ready to be considered a
No,
competitive unit, in my opinion. So
I
it
don't think so
really
either.
comes down
But the
to what's
coach,
going to fail first.
see, I agree with you, but I don't agree with your take on the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals defense is going to be fine, mostly because of coaching. But regardless, what's going to go wrong? I think most likely outcome out of the what's going to go wrong thing is that Stafford gets injured. I think that's probably the most likely thing to happen as far as what can go wrong in that division. Obviously, you don't want
So
that to happen. I really like Stafford, but he's already dealing with injuries in the preseason. Wouldn't be shocking.
yeah.
Um, so I probably would have the Seahawks second spot in the division and Cardinals at 3, just because I don't Stafford playing up to Stafford level. If you catch my drift.
So question to you guys: do you think it's more likely that the Rams go third in the division, or that the Seahawks go second in the division?
Uh, More likely Rams go third for sure, but I think both are very likely.
Okay. All right. Well, so now I can get to my actual power rankings, 32-1. All right. I'll say in increments of 5. Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah,
Okay.
that works. Or if you
All
have
right.
tiers that you go by, you can do tiers as
I don't
well.
have tiers, but there's some
Cringe.
big drop offs. I have some big drop offs that I can mention as I go along.
Yeah,
So 32-8.
Broncos at
Patriots,
32.
no, Patriots, Broncos. So it goes Patriots, Broncos, Saints,
Saints.
Panthers, and Vikings. That's the bottom 5.
Vikings should be lower.
Lower like 30.
I think Saints are better than Vikings.
I can see that. I can see that. Maybe,
Not that it
maybe,
matters.
maybe Darnold is him.
I fucking hope not. Darnold
So now,
Truthers pissed me off so much after last season. Talking
so
about you,
now
Ian
it goes.
Rappaport. Fuck you.
Is he actually?
You
Dude,
remember
he was
the
saying how
yeah.
Sam Darnold is going to be the week 1 starter for the 49ers going into last year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
So stupid.
So now it goes 27-23. Chargers, Giants, Commanders, Cardinals, and Raiders.
Chargers, Giant. I think Giants are way too high.
Mm,
I mean, and you're also probably lower on the Chargers just because there is that bias against Herbert with being a Tua
No,
fan.
no, it has nothing to do with that. I
the
really don't care
the
about that.
Chargers roster,
It's
90%
just
of it
the
is
roster.
garbage.
Yeah, it's just a
Genuinely,
roster
That
now.
offense is going to be perfectly fine.
it'll be okay
I
because
hate
it'll
I
be
hate the receivers. I really dislike the receivers. Um,
Okay,
D
I
line
don't
is
think
just
Quentin Johnston is great. I don't hate Quentin Johnston as a person, but I hated him as a prospect. So I don't disagree there. But Ladd is a good fucking receiver, and that'll carry that unit, especially with the quarterback play that Herbert has in him.
again, yeah, but I can't. I mean, yeah, but then the Giants have neighbors in a more complete roster. And yeah, Daniel Jones is trash, but I would rather. It's so hard to say, bro. I mean, that's why I have them one right next to the other.
That's fair.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, 22-18. There's already a little bit of a gap here.
Oh, for sure.
Steelers, Seahawks, Colts, Bucks, and Titans.
Steelers, Bucks, Colts. Is that what you
Steelers,
said?
Seahawks. Steelers, Seahawks, Colts, Bucks, and Titans.
Um, that's fair. I do think it's rather odd to have all 4 AFC South teams in the top 18 or top 20, though.
Do you really think that's odd?
Yeah, I think one of them is bound to fail at least. I mean,
well,
you're
he's not
gambling on a
necessarily
lot of.
ranking them by record though. He's ranking them just by roster talent, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. This is just roster. This is not record.
Yeah, but I mean, we're still talking about like the Titans, like they're going to be something hot, and I mean that offensive wasn't great last year, but it wasn't great. I mean, it was fucking last year.
Sorry,
Like,
who?
The
huh?
Titans, their offensive line
The
was
The
Titans.
horrible.
Titans.
That is true. I think I think Mayo Man is gonna take us out, you know.
Oh, I fucking love
I
Mayo,
think
man. You can't sell me enough on Levis.
yeah, I think they're cooking some good stuff on offense. I think that's the most important thing. So, yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Sounds good. Next 5.
And again, there's a little bit of a gap here in my opinion.
Okay.
17 to 13. Bears, Browns, Jaguars, Rams, and Cowboys.
Interesting to have Bears as a gap above Colts and Titans.
I'm just saying this group overall, there's definitely a gap between the previous 5. I don't think there's that much of a gap between the Bears and the rest, but then you look at the Browns and the rest, I think there's a gap there.
I think what's being overlooked a little bit with the Bears is not that their draft wasn't good. I think if you draft Caleb Williams number 1, you get Odunze at what
9.
pick 9 or 10, whatever. You fucking won the draft. Like, we're not disagreeing with the fact that the roster got
No.
immensely
Yeah,
better.
yeah, absolutely.
But Matt Eberflus is still their head coach. And
I think there's definitely some concern there, yeah.
some concern is a little bit of an understatement.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've seen worse head coaching situations. I think they can build something.
Yeah, like Dennis Allen.
Like Dennis Allen, yeah. I mean, and by the way, what's his obsession with Kendrick Miller? What the fuck is that about?
I don't fucking know, dude. I stopped
Anthony, have you
giving a
seen
shit
that
about
shit?
what Dennis Allen says about this team a long time ago, because even the players don't give a shit about what he has to say.
It just doesn't feel like he wants to be there, dog. What's going on with that?
Yeah, it's stupid, but whatever. We're gonna be mid as fuck in the South, so.
He probably knows his days are numbered.
Every Saints fan that I've seen is like Jacob. I'm yet to see a single Saints fan be optimistic. It's so funny.
We've been praying for a rebuild for 4 years, dude. The second that we passed up on Jordan Love, we were saying, we don't.
He cut off, but I know exactly what he's saying.
Yeah.
The second that we passed on Jordan Love, we stopped caring about our future.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Dennis Allen, he gives me weirdo vibes. I don't know. Publicly,
I don't know about
publicly
weirdo
shaming
vibes,
publicly shaming a player twice is crazy, bro. I don't know, man.
Yeah. At
Anyways,
least we have Jamal Williams.
Oh yeah.
his picture on Sleep is funny, by the way.
Yeah. Have you seen Kirk Cousins?
Not does he?
I don't know if they updated his picture on Sleeper, but he is the Sleeper profile picture on Twitter.
Hold on, let me check that.
It's him going down a water slide.
I gotta see this now. You said it's their profile on Twitter?
Yeah.
Well, they changed it then.
Oh yeah, it's gone now. God damn it.
No way. Did you look at Sleeper NFL?
Yeah.
Sleeper.
Oh, Sleeper NFL.
I
have a
looked
different.
No, but it's still a different one for Sleeper NFL.
Oh, it might not have been Sleeper NFL. It might have been Sleeper. Let me try and find the tweet and I'll retweet it. But let's see the next 5.
All right, next 5. I'm actually gonna say the next 2 and then start the top 10 because now it's 12 and 11.
Okay.
12 is Falcons. 11 is Bills.
I don't disagree with that. Other than I think Bill should probably be higher.
I think with the top 10, it's maybe they're maybe 10, but I can't put them higher than that. And my 10 is the Eagles. Like maybe I can flip it with the Eagles. I can maybe see that.
Oof, you're high on the Eagles.
I think they have a complete roster still. I think if the coordinators get it going, they can do something. I don't like Sirianni, but I mean, I maybe looking back at it, maybe I flip it, Bills and Eagles, but after that I can't because I have the Packers at 9, and I think Packers are better than the Bills.
But you don't think
and that's probably
Packers can win the division?
I didn't say that. I think they can.
You called me a homer for saying they would win the division.
Yeah, I had to give you shit though. I had
Fuck
to give
you.
you shit done.
Alright, I just tagged you in it.
Let's see it.
But yeah, it's so fucking good.
Oh, I did see it actually. It came across my Twitter, but I just never processed it. But yeah, I see it.
I did not
Fins
see
up.
that.
Look at the. Hey, look at the floaty. Fins up.
Oh, they're gonna
Yeah,
trade.
that-
They're gonna
Yes,
trade. They're
sir.
gonna trade Cousins to Miami for Tua.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the Dolphins are gonna get a first round pick confiscated for
Tampering.
tampering. Let's go.
yes.
What the Eagles do and what they get out at 4th or something? Get out of here, bro.
Did they even get penalized? The Eagles,
like
I don't
a
know if they
6 or
did.
something? I don't even know if it was a 4th.
which
It
was
so
total
stupid.
bullshit.
And the
Why are you gonna
Falcon- no,
penalize
the Falcons did it. The Falcons did it, right? The Falcons did it for a 6 or something. It was so stupid.
That's what I'm saying. I think the Falcons got
I
penalized
mean,
for a
yeah,
shit
they've
draft
taken
pick.
the Falcons first round pick. They don't
I
need
think
Michael Penix.
I think Falcons did for sure. I don't know about
Yeah, I don't think
Eagles,
the Eagles
though.
got.
But I mean, Dolphins do, and they lose the first round pick. Holy shit!
Alright, so
Anyways,
who's 9 through 6?
so 9 through 6 is Packers, Jets, Bengals, Dolphins.
Oof. Bias in there.
I think the Dolphins have a really complete roster. They added a lot of depth in this offseason. Starting DL hurts because of Wilkins leaving, but everywhere else it's an upgrade. Like literally.
Oh, don't worry. They'll be amazing in the regular season. You'll have your Flowers.
Okay. Okay.
Let me see them in the divisional round before I get high on the Dolphins.
Top 5 goes Lions, Texans, Ravens, Chiefs, and Niners.
Niners at 1. Based.
Fuck, that's not a good sign.
Anthony, let me tell you something, right? And don't take this the wrong way, okay? Let me ask you first. All right.
All right.
If the Niners again don't win the Super Bowl, because I mean they've had aspirations for how many years now, right?
He's gonna say, "Do you want to get rid of Kyle Shanahan?"
Do you want to get rid of Kyle Shanahan?
No.
Okay, if they lose in the divisional, do you want to get rid of Kyle Shanahan?
No. It's not just about the loss that matters to me. That's number one. Number two, think about life without him before. Holy shit, that was depraved, man. With Jim Tom Sula, a caricature, really, as a head coach. And then Chip Kelly with a 2-14 record, calling Kaepernick like quarterback who couldn't even hit a slant. Like, oh my God, the life with Shanahan and with Lynch and their ability to cultivate talent later rounds in the draft is just unbelievable. I love this regime, as weird as it can get sometimes. There's no way that, just a simple mere playoff loss is going to make me say, hey, no, we're done.
Well, now
we're
listen, I'm not the one saying this.
I
The
know.
only reason why I'm asking, I wouldn't do it either.
Niners
Because
Twitter.
those talks are gonna be those talks are gonna take place.
Niners
those
Twitter
scenarios
is a
happen.
complete cesspool. They're not a monolith because they all believe nobody
spoiled, that's what
nobody
it
can
is.
agree
They're
on
spoiled.
maybe it is. It's suffering from success
If
but
those
not a
talks
Super Bowl.
Take place.
Yeah.
If those talks take place and there's no talks about firing Tomlin for another 9-8 season, then NFL fan.
No, he's gonna get praised for it. He's gonna get praised for it. That's the difference.
Yeah. Can you believe it? Think about it now. Just think about it now as we go into the season. Okay. They signed Russ in March or April or whatever it was, and it's like, holy shit, Russ is going to be so fucking good on this team, right? It's going to be so fucking good. We're going to be way better. Dude, did you see how fucking horrible we were with Pickett? And we still did okay enough to be like that? And then now what's going to happen at the end of the season, 9-8 record. Oh my God, can you believe it? Tomlin did it again with this shit quarterback room, just shit talent all over the place. He coached his ass off. And the revisionist history every fucking year with Steelers fans. It's so frustrating.
It's kind of hilarious.
It's because it's exactly what's going to happen. I'm telling you. It's
well, Russ is gonna be a decent quarterback, I think. I mean, fantasy QB 14 last year. He can't be that bad, right?
Yeah, he'll be fine. Yeah, but again, it's going to be that thing where it's like coming into the off season, one of the first moves that was made, and it was like, oh my God, we're going to win the Super Bowl next year. And then now it's going to be, they're going to maybe crawl into a 9-8 record. I'm not saying that they will. They could be better, they could be worse, who knows. But hypothetically, they crawl into another 9-8 record, missing the playoffs, but stay winning record for Mike Tomlin. That's exactly what's going to be said. I guarantee you. Doesn't matter how Russ played.
Mike Tomlin's going to finish third in Coach of the Year awards for getting 10 wins instead of 9.
Yeah. And then, Kyle Shanahan wins a Super Bowl finally, and he still doesn't get Coach of the Year.
To be fair, that award is announced before the Super Bowl.
I know. It's just the fact that he hasn't won it yet is kind of weird. Yeah, Jason Garrett won a Coach of the Year.
Jason Garrett winning a Coach of the Year is fucking hilarious. Kevin Stefanski has a Coach of the Year.
I don't think so at all. He claps better than anyone. I don't know why you guys are saying all of this.
Dude, the Clapper is the craziest nickname.
I really don't know why you guys are saying all of this.
Clapper is such a funny fucking nickname.
Yeah.
All right. What's next? Baseball playoffs? I don't fucking know.
I don't know. I don't think we have to. I mean, you were still 6 weeks out. There's not much has changed since last week, honestly. I don't think.
Yeah.
But I mean, what else is going on in your lives? I guess.
Well, I braces today.
Oh,
Based.
hell yeah.
Oh wow.
Yes, based.
Fuck yeah.
Well, actually, let me send you guys a picture.
So, fun fact.
Look how good I look.
As good as Taco Bell tastes, don't eat it more than twice a week, because after working at Taco Bell for a total of 1 week, I have already bled out of my ass.
Oh
my
my
God.
fucking God.
Oh, that was unhinged
Holy
as hell.
shit.
That was unhinged as hell. Also, speaking of Taco Bell, did I tell you guys I cooked Mexican food the other day?
No.
I'm also sending you pictures. Hold on now.
I have your
And I'm
permission
sending you pictures
to
of me doing it.
potentially overlay these images on the video.
Absolutely.
All right.
And I made everything, by the way. I made the bacon. I made the tortillas. I made the ranch. Okay. I made the guacamole. I made literally everything.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Nice.
And when I tell you this was good as hell,
Bro, I need to
let me
go
tell
to
you
Florida,
this was
not
good as hell.
because of Florida, but because of Roofy.
Go with it. You'll be welcome here.
Yeah. He'll invite me over for the Thanksgiving party, Anthony.
You'll be welcome here.
I can't believe that happened. I can't believe that fucking... That was so funny, dude.
Wait, what happened?
We've never met in person. We're just long-time internet friends. And fucking, me and Anthony are on a call with Bryce, and Bryce is like, Jacob, are you gonna come to the Thanksgiving? I'm like, I live in Kansas. He was like, no, it's okay. You can stay at Anthony's house.
What?
Yeah, this is like, I mean, they had talked before, but this is like the first time over voice that they had talked, like, at all. And Bryce was just like, yeah, invited Jacob to Thanksgiving at my house, and then invited him to stay over the weekend at my house too. It was so fucking hilarious.
This has to be like some. There has to be some hard brain rot. Like it has to be.
No, I don't know what it was, but Jacob and I both just started like fucking laughing so hard. It was so funny, and like so.
It was
Wasn't
one
he
of the
like-
weirdest interactions
Wasn't
I've
he
ever
being
had.
like deadly
Yeah.
serious?
Yes, he was
Uh-huh.
dead serious,
Yeah,
dude.
it was bizarre.
Yeah, by the way, you can just stay at Anthony's house.
Yeah,
It's okay. Anthony has a couch.
yeah.
Yeah, you
And
can stay over. You
it-
can feed him.
and
You can shower there.
It was obviously super awkward too, because it made me feel bad. Because like, I mean, I'm not inviting Jacob. He lives like halfway across the country.
You are
like,
inviting. You are
You know?
sending him to my house, dog. How does that work? You're shipping him to my house.
yeah, it was one of the weirder interactions I've had with that. He's a very interesting
Yeah.
character.
I mean,
but-
what the fuck? What the fuck even happened after?
Nothing really. I mean, we just carried on conversation, but it was it was awkward for a minute.
I couldn't. Me personally, I could. I'm like, what are you on about? Like,
Oh no, that
you
shit was
just,
just so funny, dude.
you smoke some shit, like,
And then I gave Anthony
God.
shit for it afterwards. I was like, "Wow, Anthony, are you saying I can't just fuck?" I cut out, didn't I?
I
Yes, you
mean,
did.
yeah. I mean, it's some huge meme potential. I'll tell you this. But
Oh, it's
fuck.
I don't know what's more meme potential, that or him trading 3 first-round picks and Mike Gesicki for Dallas Goddard, and then trading Dallas Goddard a week later.
Oh my god. Oh my
No, it's
god.
definitely it's definitely the former. It's definitely the former.
Okay.
Definitely the former.
Um, I guess the other stuff that I got going on in my life is just that I just saw Alien Hom or Romulus. It was fucking banger.
All right, you guys
Yeah.
are switching over to that.
Yeah, I guess so.
I do have a game for us to play later.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we'll
Huh?
talk Alien. Burfy, if you want to dip out, that's totally
Before
fine.
Brucey goes, I want to say a hot take.
Oh, it's
Outside of the original Alien movie, Alien Romulus is my favorite Alien movie. It's better than Aliens, in my opinion.
I might agree. We'll get into it in just a sec.
should I deafen?
Yeah.
It's up to you. And then yeah, go ahead and do that, and then I'll message one of us will message you when we're done.
All right.
All
Yeah.
right.
All right, cool.
So I've got. Oh, let me share my screen with you, just so you can have a visual aid. How do I do this again? I got it.
Technical difficulties, folks.
All right, there we go. Oh, let me turn on the display capture as well on here. Woo! Wow. Tier list time. Okay. So Alien is a very controversial franchise for the most part, with some really high highs and really low lows, according to many people within the fandom. But nothing. It goes without saying how big of a cultural phenomenon that this franchise has been for nearly 5 decades now. Yeah.
It's probably the second best franchise of all time now that it has.
Man, that
Where did I cut out?
besides Romulus, that's what you're gonna say, or with Romulus rather.
Yeah.
Man, that is
Yeah, with
that is
Romulus, this is the second greatest franchise of all time.
That is really bold because I don't know. My problem is I don't consider most of these like horror films. You know what I mean? Like there's horrifying shit that happens in all of them, but I don't know if I don't really know. You know, but we'll get into it, I guess.
That's fair. We can go ahead and put the first Alien in S tier.
Well, let's talk about the new one first. Just a brief review. You know, we don't have to place it in a tier yet, but let's just review the Alien
Okay.
Romulus first. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I went ahead and gave this movie an 8.5 stars. I did just get done watching it less than 2 hours ago. I was literally sitting on the edge of my chair from 45 minutes into the movie to the very end of the, and that wasn't just because I had. Um, sorry, I'm cutting out more. Aren't
Yeah, yeah, it's a little more frequent.
Okay. So I was fully attentive to this movie. I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. Honestly, it was probably the scariest movie I've seen since 2020's Invisible Man. And not that Invisible Man is scary, very scary movie. It just had probably the scariest jump scare I've seen in a while.
Hmm.
But this is one of the last horror movies that I've seen that actually scared me in theaters. I thought that it really executed the storyline well. There's a lot of emotional distraught at times. There's characters that you absolutely fucking hell. Okay, sorry. There's the characters that you absolutely hate, and they die brutally, and so it's really enjoyable to get killed.
Yeah.
So I really value this movie in the franchise, and like I said, the second best movie in the franchise.
All right. Here's my brief review that I wrote on Letterboxd. My Letterboxd link will be in the description, as well as Jacob's if he would like it there. My brief review for it was Fede Alvarez is able to craft an exciting and intense alien story that is authentic, though narratively safe. Alien Romulus really only suffers due to how familiar it feels. Its structure and progressions are near identical to Ridley Scott's original. That said, its straightforwardness in this regard gives them more room to put every possible dollar toward the look of the film, and the practical effects here are truly second to none. The ways in which it did expand upon the franchise were fantastic, but there needed to be more of them. There are other elements reminiscent of the franchise's origin that are also a welcome return. Alvarez's xenomorphs are scary, menacing, and a consistent threat through the second act. I appreciate Alvarez in his attempt to recapture the true horror elements, and I do believe it's effective and efficient in doing so. Most of the characters aren't given the time to be interesting enough to warrant investment, but I was satisfied with the two leads and the performances throughout the film. Rain and Andy's story and companionship is believable and provides a unique flavor for the franchise, and I was particularly enamored by David Johnson's performance as a synthetic. Ultimately, I really enjoyed myself watching, and I think it's a genuine good time at the movies. It returns to the roots of the franchise and is a fantastic love letter to it. Probably not for the Queasy Bunch, 80%.
Couldn't agree more. I think that, like you said, and I didn't point this, but David Johnson does need to be celebrated for his performance as a fucking, what's the word, artificial intelligence guy.
Yeah.
I think he portrayed it very, very well.
I think, genuinely, I think that is an Oscar-worthy performance, in my opinion. If films like this were actually represented at the Oscars, I would be no surprise to me for him to get a nomination, but usually genre films like this are not, given the love that they deserve, which is unfortunate. But
I wholeheartedly agree, and I especially like his character because it feels like if you were to put me in the movie, because it's just like, man, it fucking sucks that person died. Anyways, we're alive.
Yeah.
Or like, okay, this person just had an alien who we know breeds by putting their dick down their mouth. Happened right on their face. Let's leave them behind and finish the mission and be on with our merry way. No movie happens because this guy is so fucking logical that dumb shit wouldn't happen. But no, we got to say, all right, let's stick around because we got to save this. Can't be saved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I guess
I appreciate his character.
Yeah, and that always occurs in the Alien films. You do have the moral questions within each film. Because the synthetics are a prevalent aspect of the world building and the society or whatever that you want to call it within these films. And so having that sort of parallel from a synthetic that doesn't really have that kind of attachment to these people or these themes with the character, the human character elements, I think is really nice contrast, and I think that it's really well developed between our two leads in this film.
Absolutely. I also I do agree with you saying that you didn't have a lot of time to flesh out the characters and make them very attached to us, but I did feel emotions when I get it's like kind of a lousy writing excuse to say, oh, the pregnant girl got stabbed and taken away, or I wouldn't say love interest because there's a huge age gap, but like the main guy character that's not the artificial intelligence, whenever he got taken away, I also felt emotions of just not distraught, but like I did feel guilty for him or bad.
Yeah, I mean, I guess to each his own in that way, and I didn't really necessarily mean it as like a bad thing about the movie. It's most of the time in films like this, you do have your cannon fodder characters that are meant to be delivered in such a way for the kills, and so that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think that the kills in this movie are absolutely fantastic. They're some of the most gruesome shit that I've seen in this franchise, and some of the people on Twitter that are saying that this is a very tame movie, I just don't understand. You get some really graphic imagery in this one, and like I said in my review, not for the queasy people, because holy shit, you might be able to get away with watching Aliens if you're particularly queasy, but not this one, I don't think.
How can you say it's a light movie when there was the birthing scene and then there's the literal alien just dripping its blood on the guy so that way he melted? Which, by the way, shout out to the writers for actually fucking brutally killing a guy that nobody liked.
Yeah.
A lot of horror movies will just let people go and die easily. And you're like, well, that wasn't fucking reward. Nah, we got what we wanted with him.
Right. Right. And yeah, I guess
So,
now that we've reviewed this one and we're gonna get into the other Alien films, just to keep in mind for the audience out there, we're going to be diving into spoilers. We want to talk about these movies and talk about pivotal events. So if you haven't seen these movies, skip this section and then come back after you've watched them. All right.
absolutely. So let's go into Alien. One of the most impactful horror movies to ever go on this planet. I don't think anyone can really argue against being. I don't think there's an argument for it to be below A tier. Obviously, I feel like most of us value it in S tier.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a true staple of the horror genre and of the sci-fi genre. It's really a special movie. Not many movies are made with this just kind of everything about it. And it just works on so many levels. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that the xenomorphs don't even show up until an hour into the movie really shows well the characters were fleshed out prior to the main event of the film, as
Yeah.
well as the iconic the chest burster.
Yeah, and it's a thing of suspense as well, right? And this is something that great horror, in my opinion, does over having very easy releases of tension through the jump scare. Jump scares are fine when they're done occasionally, but when you overdo it, you're constantly releasing tension from the viewer, and so there's no real build up. It's just a little tension, release, a little tension, release. But when true masters of suspense will allow that to just simmer and build and build and build until like you really are just you can't handle yourself anymore, and then finally a release of tension occurs at some point, and then they allow it to build up and build up again. If they are a film that has multiple of those, some of them don't have any, or don't have multiple rather. And again, Alien is just a master of suspense, a master of science fiction, a master of maximizing narrative in such an enclosed space, because most of the movie takes place on the ship, and they do get that sense of claustrophobia and they do get that sense of isolation, especially with the main character Ripley, which we'll be talking about her as well throughout the rest of the quadrilogy there.
Absolutely. Two more things I want to say on it is one, space horror is already fucking terrifying because there's nothingness around you, and then you're just stuck in nothingness with said monster, the xenomorph, which is already a fucking biological super weapon. But also the only movie that I can ever compare as far as it's such a genre defining as far as sci-fi and horror that feels isolated is The Thing.
Say
It
again.
really is up there
Thing?
with the only movie that I think, yeah, The Thing.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree. And really,
I think
mean,
those two movies stand alone in sci-fi and horror.
yeah, I mean, they're both absolute masterpieces in my opinion. And both, I don't know actually about the public perception of Alien when it first came out, but as far as The Thing is concerned, it's certainly gotten a lot more steam in the years after it's been released. Initially it was not well received at all.
Right. I couldn't agree more with your take on that. You ready to get into Aliens?
Sure.
Another
Yeah.
culturally loved movie.
Yeah. I rewatched
I
this one
don't
yesterday.
agree with.
Go ahead. Sorry.
It's been a minute since I've seen it, but I don't agree with the common take that, or not common, but there's a lot of people who think this is the best movie in the franchise,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you there.
I think this is a high B tier, low A.
Yeah. I just rewatched it yesterday as I was watching the ones that I hadn't seen as well. I mean, before going into this marathon that I did, I had only seen the original 3 films and then Romulus, last weekend. But rewatching it, I don't think it holds up as well on a second watch, in my opinion. I think some of the things in the plot that occur feel, I don't know, it feels a little sloppy and weak. But there is still great spectacle there. I think, if there's anything that you take home as like a legendary piece of film in this movie, it's the final act. It's the final fight, where Ripley gets into the mech suit and is fighting the Queen xenomorph. And I think there are still some really thrilling set pieces throughout this movie. But I don't think it's quite as good as obviously the majority of people say, but also just quite as good of a film compared to Alien and maybe a couple other ones that we talk about in just a second here. So I would give it a B as well.
Sounds good. I think that's pretty collective agreement there. I think we're going to agree with most of these movies, to be honest with you. But Alien 3, I have in this C tier.
Oh, man, that might be too high.
See, the problem is, it's definitely borderline C or D, but if I don't put it in C, then I won't have a C tier movie on this tier list.
Oh, really?
So,
okay. Well, that'll be different. That would be different for me. But, man, this one is just so fucking brutal for me because it's when you watch the film, it's very, very evident that this was an incomplete movie, and then they patched it together, and that's very much what happened. David Fincher didn't really get too much of a directorial voice in this film. This is his first feature film, so it's a miracle that a movie that's as bad as this one is, in my opinion, that he even got future projects and becomes a legendary director. But there's just so many narrative issues. A lot of the visuals are fine. I think actually his work behind the camera is okay, but it's so unbelievably bleak and just nihilistic in a way that it's really hard to sit through in that regard. And then, but not to mention even that, but the characters of, the inmates, because we're on this prison planet, I don't give a shit. Not a lot of them are, I don't know. I don't care a lot about them. And so a lot of the dramatic weight at the very end of the film when the aliens finally starts picking them off one by one very quickly, no impactful meaning for me in that way. And then the decision to kill off the two characters that you grow to like from the Aliens movie, to kill them off screen like that, and just completely, and James Cameron agrees as well, to completely remove all the meaning and to sort of bastardize the story of those characters and the story of Ripley and the relationship Ripley had with those characters, to me it's borderline criminal. I think it's such a bad decision to make. And especially watching it, because I watched them rewatch those back to back. Watching them back to back, it's so much less satisfying as well. It's just, what the fuck are we doing? With this writing here, it makes no goddamn sense. It's so dumb. The other big issue narratively is that the doctor at the prison, his name is Clemens. He just kind of he is made to believe, or we are made to believe, that he is a integral point of the movie, an integral character that's going to be there at the end and whatnot. And because they give him so much screen time, and there's a little bit of that romantic tension between him and Ripley as well at certain points. But then he just fucking dies halfway through the movie, and we don't spend any time, with it. It's just that he gets killed, that's just bad writing, so I really dislike this one. There is one that I think is worse, so I don't think it's an F, but it's firmly in D tier for me.
I think there's two that are worse, to be honest with you.
Okay. Well,
but I do agree. I would say that it kind of illegitimizes. I don't know how to say the fucking word.
Delegitimize?
But it kind of illegitimizes the. It makes the seriousness of the first two movies illegitimate because it's such an unserious. I feel like we've said that quite a lot in the past year, but it's just an unserious narrative as a story.
Yeah, well, to be clear, it's unserious in application because it's just so bad and so poorly executed. This film is arguably the most serious of all the films if you think about tone and things of that nature. I mean, this movie, it fucking sucks. Totally. It is so depressing. I mean, it's so depressing. Yeah, rough watch,
I
rough watch.
I agree with that.
All right, so you're good with D
Here,
then?
oh, actually, yeah.
Okay.
And then spoilers. These next two movies I have in F tier.
So this one for sure is an F for me. Alien Resurrection. I had never heard good things about it.
It might be
Uh,
one of the worst horror movies ever made.
Man, it is really rough. It was rough to watch. I really wanted to stop watching it and just say I watched it halfway through the movie because it's really bad. It's Joss Whedon's writing. If nobody is familiar with Joss Whedon, he did like the first Avengers films. He did a couple early Pixar films, I believe. He did the original Justice League, not Zack Snyder's Justice League. So if you know those films, you know how he writes, and it's not the tone for an Alien movie. It totally, completely does not fit with this franchise and with the premise here. And then on top of him being the writer, then you have someone who is such an opposite. I don't remember his name, but the director, he's a very auteur director who's French. Has done French auteur films and whatnot before this, and the tone, it doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit. Nothing about this works. There's one set piece in here that I really like, and it's when they're underwater and the xenomorph is chasing them underwater. I think that is a fairly decent set piece. It's interesting enough, but the ensemble cast, I don't think is, there are great actors in the ensemble, but none of them really do anything. None of them steal the show. None of them elevate the film in any way. The just bringing Ripley back after her sacrifice in the third movie, which wasn't really a sacrifice by any means, but bringing her back just to have Ripley back is also just really fucking stupid. Like, you're again
It's super
undoing
fucking lazy.
You're right. You're undoing, just like what Alien 3 did with Aliens. You're undoing what the previous film did with that character. It's just exactly very lazy. Just really terrible stuff. The creature design at the end with the fucking whatever the fuck you want to call that also isn't the best either.
Yeah,
So
the fucking creature design is terrible. It's probably the worst I've ever seen in horror. It's so painful to look at
yeah,
in not a good horror way. It's just objectively frustrating.
yeah. All right. Now we venture into the controversial films.
I can't fucking stand Prometheus.
Yeah. So as you foreshadowed, you hate it, and this one is probably the most controversial of the films. I mean, most people either really love Prometheus or really hate Prometheus, and
It just feels nothing like an Alien movie.
That's what I was about to get into. Fresh off of watching Prometheus for the first time, it is very much not like it. Thinking of it as an Alien movie kind of, I think, does it such a disservice because there is good stuff here, in my opinion. The cast is good, but again, we have the problem where nobody elevates the film, and I feel like a lot of people just get stuck in the writing of their character, so nobody really elevates anything. But conceptually, there's really interesting stuff here. There's really interesting stuff with the character of David, and really interesting stuff with this whole idea of being created and creation, and like the most advanced being or creature, right? Which has also been a part of a sentiment with previous Alien films as well. But there's nothing Alien really to do with this movie outside of David, really, like that he's a synthetic. Like, you could watch this movie completely disconnected from all the other ones, and you wouldn't really know that it's an Alien movie if you didn't know beforehand, in my opinion, genuinely.
And there are people that do there are people that have said that they have literally watched the movie and then have been asked about it later on, like then realized that it was part of the franchise.
Yeah.
Like, you can watch this entire movie and not understand that it's an Alien movie and just be like, oh, they probably took some aspects from Alien and ripped off a little bit of it. But no, I like to view this movie in this 3, because it's just totally disconnected from the main story, and I would say that on its own standalone film is probably low C tier. But if I'm looking at it from the perspective of an Alien movie, it's F.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I didn't mind it. I didn't like it by any means, but I didn't hate it either. I didn't mind my time. I think again, like I said, there's really interesting world building here. There's really interesting themes here. There's some of the set pieces are really nice. I like generally all the stuff inside of the spacecraft and inside of the dome. I think it's interesting stuff, but it's just not Alien. So if we're ranking on quality of film, I think C tier is fair.
Yeah. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on Covenant because I think this has an argument for low C tier, but I think it's probably high D tier.
Oh, Covenant. This is the one that's the freshest in my mind right now. Man, man, this one's so tough. Again, it's very. I can see how like this is the natural progression for Ridley Scott between these two movies, because this just feels like Prometheus 2. Really, it really does, and that's kind of the point. We're carrying on the David story. We're carrying on this whole. This is only 10 years after the Prometheus incident and everything, but I again, I feel so underwhelmed as far as the alien stuff is concerned. It's like the aliens are taking, and this is what it's funny how in my review for Romulus, before even seeing these movies, it kind of rings even more true now, that I had said that before, that like the aliens are scary again in Romulus, but in these movies they take a back seat. Like in one of them they just aren't even there, and then in this one there's like two of them throughout the whole film, and they take a complete back seat until the very end of the movie just to have a interesting and unique final fight between them, because that's kind of the staple of the franchise. But I mean, there's nothing.
But they're not even the main enemy.
Exactly my point. They're taking a backseat in their own movie. At least Prometheus, I guess, had the shame to not include Alien in the title, but this one, I mean, it's again the same exact thing. Alien, Covenant's the ship, or the crew, and we're watching them get massacred. Some of them are really interesting kills and whatnot, but it's not. It's disappointing. It's just disappointing. Yeah, it's very predictable. I can't give it higher than Prometheus at all, but I don't know if it's as bad as Alien 3 still. So I'm comfortable with a C below Prometheus. I don't know if you prefer it over Prometheus.
I do prefer it over Prometheus.
Okay. Then we can do that. That's fine.
I also want to say real quick, after rewatching the Alien movies probably about 2-3 months ago, it makes me find Lethal Company even funnier because everything is for the company.
Yeah. It's so funny how very little, as far as now in Prometheus and Alien Covenant, the company is mentioned it by name a lot, but in every other previous movie, like it's just the company. So yeah, that's pretty funny. There we go. And then
there's a perfect plot for this movie.
I was just about to say the same thing. A nice, crisp A tier. The final spot on our tier list that doesn't have anything in it, and it truly does fit like a glove right there. I think it's better than Aliens, not quite as good as Alien. I mean, it's really going to be difficult to top that, but I really, really loved my time with Romulus.
Yeah, it was. I'm trying to think because I've seen a lot of really enjoyable theaters, and I did really enjoy Barbarian in theaters. But this is probably the most I've enjoyed a movie in theaters since Chapter 2, which I get to most people probably isn't saying much, but I actually rate it. Chapter 2 is one of my favorite movies of all.
Interesting.
Yeah. I get that like invalidates my opinion as a movie critic, but
No, look. People as a whole, I will say this: as fun as it is for me to joke about, like I'm better at movies than you and whatever, blah blah blah. Not just you, but people in general. We need to start as people referring to or thinking of favorite movies like we do favorite food. It's like my favorite food. Like someone could say, my favorite food is pizza, and it's like, okay, cool, nice, that's your favorite food. my favorite movie is Lord of the Rings. Oh, that's great. That's cool. My favorite movie is blah blah blah. You know what I mean? We need to stop,
Right.
I guess, putting so much weight into other people's film opinions. You know, obviously it does hurt a little bit when someone like one of your friends doesn't like a movie that you recommended them. It's like, well, fuck, you know, that sucks. But start thinking of
Right.
it as a favorite food type of thing. It's a very, you know, there's obviously objective things about film that makes a film good or interesting or whatever, but there's also like it's art. You know, people are able to interpret and think about art in any way that they want, and if something is really enjoyable for them, that's great. It's good that they found enjoyment in that art, you know.
I couldn't agree more, especially because like if I'm trying to think of maybe one of them is like critically or not critically, but like widely viewed as good. Because I mean, it's all personal opinion. I fucking love Step Brothers. That doesn't make it one of the best movies of all time, but it is in my top 3 of favorite movies of all time. It's my most watched movie of all time. You really like Arrival, and I wouldn't say that Arrival is like one of the greatest movies of all time, but you think it's in your top 10, and I'm not going to discredit that because I do think it's.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. It's entirely subjective, and to judge people for their opinions on movies is stupid.
Yeah. 100%. All right. So, just to reiterate what we've got here, we've got Alien in S tier. We have Alien Romulus in A tier. Aliens in B tier. Then in C tier, we've got Alien Covenant and Prometheus. And then D tier, we have Alien 3. And then in lowly F tier, we've got Alien Resurrection.
Also, real quick, if you were to show someone who'd never seen Alien anything before and just show them the main xenomorph character from each movie, I think the Resurrection would still be the worst.
Probably. It's like I said, the difference in writing style and then directorial style, it's so astronomically weird and
All right.
crazy. You know, I like we have that one scene in that movie where Ripley is shooting hoops and then throws the basket ball behind her head and makes it. Like, why is that in a Alien movie? It's so weird, you know. But
It's so disconnected, but yeah. Fuck Aliens 4. So bad.
alrighty.
Welcome back to the show, Barufi.
Was I missed?
Yes, you were. And we hope that we can get your opinions on Alien Romulus soon.
Yeah.
Or
you
any
will.
of them for that matter. Have you seen any of the Alien movies?
I have not.
Oh man, they're all on Hulu. Go watch.
Oh, I have Hulu. That makes it
That's
easy.
yeah, that is really convenient. I had to go break into my dad's house to get the Lord of the Rings. Not actually break in.
I'm
I just
sorry.
used his security code.
No, I was about to say.
No, 'cause it's funny because he's in Hawaii
I
right
was
now.
calling. I was dialing the Kansas police right now.
It's so funny
Allegedly.
because he's in Hawaii right now, and I texted him at like 11 in the morning, which for his time is like 5. I was like, "Hey, I'm going to your house," and he was like, "What the fuck are you going to my house for?" And I was like, "I got to get Lord of the Rings because I'm finally like making an effort to watch those." And he was like, "Okay."
It's
All right, cool.
look, anything can be explained, justified for Lord of the Rings.
Oh, of course. He was like, "I hope you like them. I expect you to." He was like, "It sounds like they're movies that I would expect you to enjoy,"
Yeah.
Mhm.
which makes sense. It's fucking Lord of the Rings. But what's next on the schedule? Did we have anything planned conversation wise?
I've got nothing else for today. I did pull up a little franchise tier list, movie franchise tier list. If you guys wanted to indulge that, we don't have to. We can always, I can always curate one and make one next week that we can do because I mean, this one's got Meet the Fockers on here. You know, I don't know if I would call that a franchise, really. You know
Yeah,
what I
I
mean.
wouldn't either. I also haven't seen it. Though.
All right. Well, if we want to do
I'm
that, we can shelve it. I'll make one specifically for us, and we can do it next week or
Yeah,
in the future.
that's okay.
All right.
Yeah, fine by me.
So, Jacob, I do know that, or you did say it earlier, you have a game for us.
So sorry, someone just knocked on my door.
No, no worries. No worries.
Oh,
Yeah, so I do the
it's
show right
police. I
next to my
called him.
front door.
Okay.
Anyways, yes, I do have a game, and it should be like decent time wise. It should only take like 10, 15 minutes.
Oh, cool.
But
I swear to
essentially,
God, if it's college ball.
no, it actually has nothing. It's not associated with sports mostly.
Okay.
It's so you know how we did a categories thing last week. Well, I have another that I thought would be good to play.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
Okay.
So essentially, each letter of the alphabet can be used once, and we will go in a rotation until we cannot name something of the category with a letter. And if you repeat a letter, you automatically. For example, let's say the order is me, Anthony, Sophie, and then the category is food. So we would go naming off one food per letter. You don't have to go in order until someone can't get it. And if you repeat a letter, you're automatic.
Okay.
Does that make sense, or do we have
Yeah.
any questions?
We cannot repeat the letter. Okay. All right.
Right. But I have 3 categories in mind. I don't know if you guys want to add a category. These games
No.
are going to take long anyways.
No, that's perfectly fine. Yeah. Sounds fun.
Alrighty. So I was going to start off with any food.
Okay.
I feel like that's a good genre to start us off in because it's pretty wide. You don't have to think too hard going through it.
Sure.
So we can get into the game.
Okay.
So
all right, cool.
we don't have to go in alphabetical order, though, right?
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
Alrighty. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Yeah. Who goes
So
first?
I'll go ahead and start us off, and then it'll go Anthony and then Barufi, and we'll just continue to rotate.
All right.
All right. Cool.
All right. I'm going to go pea potato chips.
Cheeseburger.
Okay. Apples.
Burger.
Oh man, I was gonna say banana next. We'll go orange.
I was about to say orange. You twat. Fog. Fajitas.
Hamburger.
This fucking guy. This fucking guy. Steak.
I was about to say shrimp, bruh. God.
Is Barufi going to lose already?
No. Hold on, I got it, bro. Hold on, bro. I'm just blanking now.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Wait, meat.
All right. It's a little cheap, but okay.
I would have said meatloaf, but we'll allow it for
Hey, it's any food type.
fair. Fucking fair, I
Fair.
guess. I'm gonna go ahead and say quinoa.
A donut.
Hold on.
Barufi's
now.
cooked.
Listen. Hold on. Wait, quesadillas. Go.
Oh, get fucked, loser. You
I
lost.
just said quinoa.
No way you did.
He just
Yes,
did.
I did,
He
dude.
just did.
Unbelievable.
Bro had to pick Q of all fucking letters.
I know,
Unbelievable.
That's what boggles me. You both picked Q there?
I mean, I'm thinking of words. I mean, I'm thinking of letters that are not conventional. This
Yeah, I had
twat thing,
zucchini
whatever.
lined up as well.
Yeah.
I did too. I had zucchini lined up.
That's funny as fuck.
Because
All
you
right.
guys were saying all these foods, and I was thinking of foods with X, dog. Foods with Y. You
I
what
don't
mean?
know if there is food in English with X. I'm not sure. Foods that start
Well,
with X.
it's in Brazil.
Xanax.
In Brazil, if you say cheeseburger in Brazil, we say cheeseburger with an X, right? So
Oh, okay.
cheeseburger.
Yeah, no, that's some gay shit. We don't do that in America.
Yeah, so it
America,
looks like
am I right?
it looks like as far as English language is concerned, there's nothing with X, but there's a lot of ethnic dishes from all around the world.
Yeah. Well, all right. I guess we can make this next one, the sports related one. Broofy, do you want to start us off on naming NFL players? First name, not
Ooh.
last name.
Okay, first name.
River Craycraft.
And they have to be active for clarification.
Oh,
River
Jordan
fuck.
Craycraft is active as active gets.
Okay,
Jordan Love.
Brock Purdy.
Okay, to
Derek Carr.
George Kittle.
Why was that the first one I thought of too?
making sure what letters have been said already.
You can't think too long about it. You're supposed to say
Yeah,
it
it's-
quickly.
All right. Xavier Leggett.
Why are we going with X so early? There's like 4 guesses so far.
Well, that's the point, right?
Micah Parsons.
Aaron Rodgers.
Cordell Patterson.
Eric Gray.
Fred Warner.
Derek Carr.
Derek Carr was said, God damn it, man, you suck at
Dude,
this.
you were
Derek Carr was said?
Yes.
Yeah, literally. Not a different
I
D
must- I-
person. It was
Listen,
Derek.
in my defense, this is time zone diff because I'm snoozy. It's affecting it.
Bro is making
Time zone diff.
excuses.
It's actually time zone diff.
All
He's
right.
making excuses. No.
Actually, time zone diff. Listen, I pulled
All right.
Xavier Leggett out the bag. I don't care.
Why are you going with X so early?
Listen, if you complain again, I'll say Xavier Howard. He's
Do
not
it.
active. Fuck.
He's not active. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Is
by
he
the way,
really
he should have a
not-
job.
Is he really not?
No,
on
he
the
should have
team?
a job, bro. I mean, come on, man.
Bro, you could have said I was about to say Austin Eckler, but you just said A.
Oh,
Yeah, he did. I was about to say
shit.
I was gonna say Amon Ra, but he said Aaron Rodgers.
I don't know if anyone knew about this though, but just looking up Xavier Howard, there is a lawsuit apparently. This is from June 7th.
Yeah. There's always a lawsuit against that guy. He's
Xavier
chilling.
Howard sent explicit content to X's son.
Nah.
Oh man.
Wait, what? I
That's
didn't hear
what it
that one.
says. What?
I didn't hear that one.
All right.
Dude,
You want me to read this?
Howard
Yeah.
is he a fruitcake?
All right. Former Miami
Listen,
Dolphins
bro.
star cornerback Xavier Howard sent a male teenager a sexually explicit photograph of the teen's mother because,
What?
because she refused to get an abortion, a new court filing alleges. The allegation was made Thursday in a lawsuit filed last year by a woman who is not the teenager's mother. Wait, what?
Jeez, bro,
The woman
what is
who
going
filed the
on,
lawsuit
bro?
accuses Howard of secretly recording them having sex and sharing the recordings with others. She
I
says
saw
Howard,
that. I saw that.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is the same story that you thought of. then.
It's the
It just-
same woman. No, it's the same woman, but I guess it went further. Holy
Oh.
shit.
That's
Yeah,
so
that's
fucking
wild.
funny, dude.
That is wild.
Further of him sending it to a random teenage boy that has nothing to do with a woman. That's crazy.
Bro
Again,
took
it's all alleged. We don't know if the
allegedly. We are not
Listen,
legally
Xavier Howard,
liable
Dolphins
for
legend,
defamation
man.
of Xavier Howard.
I love
True.
Xavier Howard, man. You can say whatever the fuck you want about the man. I have his autograph. My hat. My dad's autograph.
that'll be huge in
Yeah.
the prison.
Yeah,
loop.
that's gonna be really valuable for weirdos.
Well,
Listen,
all right.
maybe. I'm sure there's plenty of people in Kansas interested.
He was born on the 4th of
J-
July. Wow.
Nice, America.
He's as a good American as it gets.
Are we ready to have Broofy lose another game of categories?
Yes.
Oh no, I'm locked in. Let's go.
All right, name movies. Anthony, you can start.
Okay, wait. Before we start, the letter A does not mean something. It means arrival. Okay, that's my word. All right. But also the letter T is not the something. It's Terminator.
I agree.
Okay?
I agree.
All right.
I agree.
Okay. All right.
Got it.
Arrival.
Am I going next?
Yeah.
Yes.
The Lord of the Rings.
Okay, so that's L.
This motherfucker.
That's L.
Okay, that's L.
Yes.
Yes, that is L. That's L.
Step Brothers.
I was.
Back to the Future.
Can I say Cordell Patterson?
What the fuck?
Interstellar.
No shot. He said, "Could I say Cordarrelle Patterson?" Give me
Big
Talladega
Cordell
Nights.
Patterson. Big Cordell Patterson guy.
Anthony, it's you.
What was your movie? Sorry.
Talladega Nights.
Okay, well.
Hey, wait. Say
okay.
that again. What letters?
Talladega
T.
Nights. T.
Okay.
The Usual Suspects.
So you, okay. Dune.
Zombieland. That's not what I wanted to say. I wanted to say Zoolander.
Okay. All right. Oppenheimer.
God.
No. Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems. You just said. Oh, so you.
What?
Huh?
You said you, Anthony.
Yes, I did. The Usual Suspects.
Oh, he did.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm saying Broofy literally said, "Oh, so you."
I got it.
I literally said it.
God damn it, Broofy.
Nah, I'm telling you guys, it's time zone diff. I'm telling you guys.
Famous TV show characters. All star. Walter White.
Jesse Pinkman.
Skylar White.
Bruce,
Fuck,
we're
I
going by
almost said
last
Paul
names now.
Goodman.
You fucking.
Yeah.
Tuco Salamanca.
We're just all gonna do Breaking Bad characters.
Yeah.
Lalo Salamanca.
Come on, Broofy.
Gustavo Fring.
Hector Salamanca.
Okay,
Jimmy
bro.
McGill. Oh no, I fucked it up.
Wait, what did you
what?
say?
He
You
said
said
Jesse.
Jimmy?
He said Jesse.
God damn it! Because I was like, okay, S was already said, so I can't do Saul Goodman. So I went with his actual name, and I fucked myself.
God.
Said Kim, the better character too.
I should have just done a different show at that point. Should've just
Household
gone
items.
Household items. Can I start?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shelf.
Paper towels.
a broom.
Hangers.
Broofy is the first fucking round.
Hangers.
Dish soap.
A washing
Oh.
machine.
Broofy.
I'm thinking of the letters.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, locker.
Locker.
Yeah.
You have a locker in your house?
You don't?
No,
Do you?
we don't call.
Do
them
you have a
lockers.
locker, Anthony?
We don't call them lockers.
You mean
Yeah.
a closet?
I mean, no.
And how is
I'm
that an
talking about a
item?
locker? But like a safe. Like, isn't that? Can't that be called a locker as well?
So like a gun locker? Oh, I know you're a Democrat.
Okay,
Never
so a
mind.
safe. All right. Safe.
Okay, but yeah, same shit though, right? Like, I can't say safe because it says shelf, so I said
Okay.
locker.
Okay, so say gun safe. G is free. Or if you want to
I
keep
said
locker,
locker.
that's okay. All right.
I said locker.
Okay.
Okay.
Fucking okay. um. Fuck.
Wait,
Give me
of course there's a
cupboard.
locker, like a makeup locker
Cupboard.
and shit. Yeah,
You went with a cupboard over just a cup.
that's crazy.
We'll go with a knife.
I'll go with a fork.
Blackboard.
We said B already. I know for a fact we said broom. We said broom.
Yes, I did say broom.
broom.
Damn it! I got cooked. The problem is most of the shit I have in a house is like food related, so I almost said.
Well,
Eh.
my next word was Xbox.
Nice. I couldn't have said laptop because motherfucker said locker. God,
It fucking works though.
it doesn't. You don't have a locker in your house.
People do.
I mean, it is a storage that locks. It's not necessarily wrong.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Based.
Did we say tea?
No.
We did not.
God damn it! I thought we did for a second. Otherwise, I would have said table.
Not transparent dildo.
Why do you know I have one of those?
I checked your bank account.
Fuck no! My assets are compromised.
Literally.
I didn't know Burfi was Jewish. Anyway.
Based.
God damn.
All right.
Well, shit. That was a good episode, boys.
Yes, fantastic and timely and everything we want out of everything ever in the world entirely.
Agreed.
And we had the best power rankings ever seen in social media. So
Yeah,
beautiful.
until mine in a couple weeks.
Oh my.
But yeah, great episode, boys. Glad to be chatting with you guys tonight. Good stuff.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely.
What are y'all up to for the rest of the night?
Well, I thought you were gonna give your pristine outro.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, go watch Lord of the Rings.
He's doing it.
I am
is doing
tonight.
it.
I'm finishing it off tonight. But first, I gotta make really fucking good homemade salsa.
Huge.
Oh.